You're watching Drake Wing Gaming. Enjoy the video. Hey guys, Derry here from Drake Wing Gaming. As some of you know me on Twitter, The Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming at you with another Let's Play episode of Echo. So, last place we left off, we were exploring Carl's home. I think I went down into, well, not me. I think Chase went down into the basement to see what's up. And he split up from Kudzu and Leo, which is not a good idea. So I have a feeling some terrible stuff is about to happen in this episode. But, oh guys, great news! The creator of Fatal Force is now following my YouTube channel. I am honored, and if you're watching this, sir, thank you so much. I hope you enjoy your stay. And your game is a lot of fun. But anyway, guys, let's jump right back into it and see where this horror show takes us. Okay. If we can find him, we can bring him with us, and we'll be on our way out of this hellhole. I tell myself this as I bounce quickly down the stairs, wanting to get this over with as soon as possible. Now in the basement, I glance around quickly into the several doors down here. A storage room, a weight room, a video game looking room. Wait, that's down here? This looks like a scene from Saw. I start to realize that if Carl is here, he's most likely upstairs, and I'm really just giving the basement a cursory check. I start to rush through, not wanting to take too long in case Leo notices, if he hasn't already. I reach the end of the long basement hallway, and I'm left looking into a smaller room. There's a tiny white wooden door that I assume leads to the crawl space. I stare at it for a moment, not even thinking to bother with it, until I see little white hoof prints. There are several of them, like someone came and went dozens of times into and out of the crawl space. I look back behind myself, feeling a chill run up my spine, like someone's watching me. Looking back at the prints, I notice that the little door is just slightly open. Could Carl be in there? I remember that he'd been down here when we couldn't find him during the birthday party. At that moment, I catch a glimpse of something poking out from the door. It's skinny and hairy and very long, maybe 6 inches in length. I stare at it, wondering if it's a Halloween decoration that's stored under there. Chase! Leo's voice booming down the stairs makes me jump a foot in the air. I don't have time to stare at the black thing any longer, and instead I stumble down the hall toward the sound of Leo's voice. The icy glare directed at me as I move up the stairs actually makes me cower a little bit. I'm not used to having his monolithic anger directed at me. I told you to stick together. His voice rumbles out at me. Sorry, I found something. Well, Kudzu did too. Carl's upstairs. What? The thoughts of the hoofprints disappear from my mind immediately. He told me you were down here. Come on. More gently now, he grasps my hand and pulls me the rest of the way upstairs. I'm expecting us to turn into Carl's room, but instead we go further toward the end of the hall. I think this is where Carl's parents' bedroom is. Carl's lying on the bed, looking over at TJ, who's in the middle of talking to him from the side. He glances our way when we enter the room. Leo? Chase? He squints at us, like he's having trouble focusing. I smile and sigh with relief. Carl! I move to the side of the bed, next to TJ, and that's when I see that the ram is covered in a white-looking chalk substance. It reminds me of the prints downstairs. It's all over his horns, and a bit of what looks like drywall is covering the pillow around his head. What happened? Are you okay? Were you just taking a nap? Easy, Leo says to me, so I shut my mouth. TJ reaches out. Oh, God. Sudden unexpected yawn. TJ reaches out and grabs up one of Carl's big hands. The ram just stares at the ceiling now, looking just as confused as we are. I look over at Kudzu, who's standing a little off to the side, like he did when we were trying to talk to TJ. What happened? I mumble at the raccoon, and Kudzu moves a little closer. I don't know. I just came in and thought he was taking a nap or something. I glance back at Carl, watching as TJ starts to gently pet his forehead. But he wasn't? Kudzu shrugs. He was sort of I don't know, he was sweating and mumbling. I kept calling his name, like, really loudly to the point that Leo came up. Carl starts to breathe heavily, and he covers his face. I think he's crying, so I step back a bit with Kudzu, not wanting to crowd him as TJ leans over and hugs him. It wasn't until Leo touched him that he woke up, like, really suddenly. Huh. No, I'm fine. Carl lets out a weird, shaky laugh as he sits up, wiping his eyes. I was just having a really fucked up dream. Felt like I was in it for hours, man. Carl leans back on his hands, staring at the ceiling again. I had a dream that the town went fucking insane, and then I ran back here and sort of just went downstairs, and then I was gone. Gone? Where? Carl shakes his head. I don't know, a hotel or something? A few hallways that went in circles and I couldn't get out or wake up. Carl looks back at us. Even now, I don't know if I'm dreaming. At least there's people around. Carl shakes his head, a cloud of dust coming up from the fur. What are you guys doing here anyway? Actually, the town did go a bit strange. What? Really? Leo seems to hesitate, clearly not wanting to rile up Carl more than he already is. Yeah, but we're trying to leave. Actually, that's why we're here. We need a car. So what I saw in the town, however long ago that was, it really happened? Maybe. Like, people were running around shooting and stuff. Leo doesn't say anything to that. Why do you need my car? What about your van? It broke down. Carl narrows his eyes. How? Listen, we'll tell you everything on the way. We just need to get out of here now. TJ picks up some of the bits of white chalk from Carl's head fur. I'm doing it again. What's all over you? Carl runs a hand over his head, bringing it away to find it covered in white dust. Ran into the wall. Oh. Carl suddenly points at my arm. Dude, what happened? Huh? Oh. I lift up my arm and remember the cut that I got from the broken window. The fur is heavily matted down with blood, and the jagged cut is still oozing a little bit. Long story. We'll explain, like Leo said. The ram stares at the cut, so I lower my arm. It seems to be finally settling in for Carl that things are not right. I've also realized that none of us are immune to the new hysteria setting into the town. Is this what it was like for all those people living in the town over 100 years ago? I managed to think humorously to myself that I actually did do what I set out when I started the project. It's pretty clear that it's happening all over again. So, you got your keys? We need to get the hell out of here and get this town some help. Yeah, I'll get them from my room. Oh, so we're not going to talk about the thing that was standing in the fucking doorway downstairs. Okay. Alright. Ugh. I got chills thinking about that. Ugh. I'm yawning because I'm talking fast. We pull quietly out of the driveway in Carl's car, which makes almost no sound since it's a hybrid. Leo's driving, of course. Carl's still woozy, and Leo actually had to help him walk around to find the keys. I sit in the back, between Carl and TG, while Kudzu sits in the passenger seat next to Leo. I'd overheard Leo mumbling to Kudzu to sit next to him while I helped Carl into the car. Something about them needing to be able to get out of the car quickly with their guns if things went down. Leo doesn't floor it like I was expecting him to, but we moved down the bench of the mountain and through the town speedily enough. I see TJ look out his window intently, and I can only imagine it. To see if we can spot Jenna, maybe even Flynn. Dude, I don't feel good. Carl mumbles next to me, both hands on his stomach, twisting at the fabric of his hoodie. Just puke on the floor if you have to. I don't think Leo's gonna stop. Carl leans over and puts his head between his knees, groaning. I get TJ's attention, and he starts rubbing the back of the ram's... He starts rubbing the ram's back softly. Good thing it feels like there's nothing in me. So, what the hell's going on? Where's Jenna? TJ frowns. We don't know. What happened then? I take a deep breath, trying to figure out how to explain. Well, we're not sure what's going on everywhere, but on Saturday while I was at the diner with Leo, I go through my story as quickly as I can, explaining to Carl what's been going on. The rest of the car is quiet, so I get anxious when I get to the part about Brian and skip over it as much as I can. I only mention that he held me there for a day. By the time I finish, we're already passing the lake. Huh. Damn it! Stop yawning. Huh. So is it Sunday already? Sunday morning? Yeah, I guess so. So, how was that a whole fucking day? I don't say anything in response. What happened to you, Tej? Are you okay? Carl turns his gaze on TJ, who just nods. Yeah, I was seeing things too. People chasing me. I'm okay now, though. TJ actually does seem pretty stable now after everything that's happened. Maybe taking care of Carl is taking his mind off whatever happened to him. Either way, he doesn't expand on what he saw. Carl shivers and puts his head back down while TJ continues to rub his back. A few minutes of silence go by before Carl speaks up again. It feels kind of nice. Reminds me of my mom. Yeah, actually my mom did it too, though I thought it might help. Hey, I love you, just so you know. All you guys. I'm glad I'm not in that place anymore. I love you too, Carl, and everyone else. You too, Raccoon Man. Thanks. Yeah, I affirm my own love for everyone. Kudzu glances back at us before turning his attention out his own window. Leo doesn't say anything from the front, his focus solely on the road ahead of him. I watch the desert whip by us, for the first time feeling somewhat safer as the town disappears behind us. But of course, it doesn't last long. What's that? On the side of the road there. Leo turns his head in the direction that Kudzu points. We all do. What we see changes everything for me from that point on. Sure, things were crazy, and I had a hard time believing anything was happening. But it was explainable. People like Duke, Brian, TJ, even Carl, were all seeing things. But it was kind of a distant thing, in a way. Something everyone else was experiencing. Something I was exempt from. But now, there it is. Something I can't explain right in front of me. What is that? Oh my gosh. TJ covers his mouth. Carl sits up straight, trying to see. Leo slows down as we pass. There's my car. All the windows shattered. And there's Duke, lying a dozen feet away from the open door of the driver's side. And there, crouching over him, is something I can't explain. Hairless. Body and limbs long. Way too long. The head comes up and all I see are 3 holes and blood. TJ screams next to me and Leo shouts something before stepping on the gas, slamming me back into my seat. I try to look back, but whatever it was is gone. At least, it's gone from where it was. Because I see something moving next to my window and I turn to face it. And it stares back at me. But only for a moment. That thing, whatever the fuck it is, disappears almost the instant I register that it's there. I'm only staring out into the blackness of the desert. Still, 3 holes, 2 eyes, and a mouth blink back at me in a sort of afterimage before that too vanishes. What was that? What was that? TJ's grabbing my arm, claws digging painfully into my skin. I'm too shocked to even pull away as TJ leans forward next to me, staring out my window. At least I know I'm not the only one that saw it. TJ squeaks again when no one answers him. What was it? I don't know, some kind of animal maybe. I've never seen anything like that before. Could have had a disease, lost all of its fur or something. Maybe Duke hit it. But it was walking! TJ's arm is looped around mine and I can feel his body shaking. I look over my shoulder through the back window. At this point, my car is a good distance away, only visible because the headlights are on, and a streak of light fading out across the desert. Duke, is he... Blah! Some dry retching noises followed by a heavy splattering sound cuts me off. Carl is hunched over in the seat, head between his legs. It isn't hard to figure out what just happened, especially when the smell hits me. Oh my gosh, Carl! TJ looks torn between blanching away and comforting the ram. Carl comes back up, looking like he's about to say something before diving forward again. A much louder retch followed by a much quieter plopping sound follows. I grimace, feeling my own stomach roil. God. Kudzu's looking back at us, a paw up to his nose. You okay? Carl keeps his head down a while longer, his fingers twisting into the fabric of his shorts. TJ tentatively rubs his back. Like, I would have done it out the window. I don't want to open any of the windows now, though. Oh Lord. Okay, Alarm Chan broke that up pretty well. Ooh, that was tense. Okay, so there is an actual fucking monster out there in the desert. Oh God. Oh God. What are we gonna do? Oh my Lord. That is creepy. That is creepy as hell. Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching. I was right. This is a horrifying episode of Echo. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and ring that notification bell to the next video. I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!